All right, news hour continues. Let's cross over and see what's happening in the White House or in the Capitol, because I believe there must be some development. Right, these are pictures from inside the Capitol, if I'm not wrong. The showing around still continues, the briefing still continues. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, these are something that should have happened earlier before inauguration, so that they were just familiar. And I bet now they walk about within the square, and the president will then go to the White House. But that's happening right now, so those are live pictures. And right here in our studio from the newsroom, Nikia White still with me, Elijah Munyi, professor, still with me of international relations from the United States International University, Kenya, and of course, Professor Noah Midambo still with me right here from KCA, the VC and the Chief Executive Officer, and also specializing on defense and foreign relations. All right, on Zoom, we are joined now by Dr. Japhet Kaluyu Kavinga, an independent presidential candidate, and of course we have Elkana Odembo. He served lastly, I think, in Washington as the Kenyan ambassador to the United States. Before that, he also served in France. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Let's speak to Elkana first. Good to see you. And you watching from home, what strikes you as new in the speech that the president made, or what can you get out of that speech that is so outstanding watching from home? All right.
Hello, are you speaking to me?
Yes, Elkana, I'm speaking to you. Thank you for joining us this evening. I know you worked from home the speech. I'd like to know your take on the speech. What is the takeaway from that speech?
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I have been watching. No surprises there. Complete contrast to the man who has just left the White House. You can see the differences like day and night. It's the many years of experience in the Senate, 36 years, 8 years as vice president to President Obama, a different human being, a different outlook, a different mindset, somebody who really believes in reconciliation, diversity, those values that a lot of Americans hold dear. And that came out today, very sincere. You could tell the sincerity, and what a contrast between what we heard today compared to what we've been listening to for the last 4 years. So for me, no surprises there, just a decent person, incredible experience, good for America, and I think a good turn as well for the rest of the world. So no surprises for me. I think that's what we expected a Joe Biden presidency to put forward for us. So it's a good time for the US, and it's also a good time for the rest of the world.
Because you are in Washington when Barack Obama was the president. Today you saw him welcoming his former vice president. And of course, yes, there is this say that Biden is a continuation of the Obama time. Do you agree? Because you were in Washington at the same time, and you'd understand these two gentlemen.
In a sense, yes, a continuation, but the context is very different, because the 4 years of President Trump have really changed America very fundamentally. So Biden is coming to the White House, yes, having been 4 years ago the vice president to Obama, but to a very different America. And I think if there's anybody who's prepared to deal with this very different America, it would be Biden, because he was Obama's vice president for 8 years. He worked with the same people. He worked with Obama in the White House. And a lot of the people, if you look at the list of people that he will have, for example, in the ministry, in the state, If you look at his cabinet, his advisors, he can only pick from people who he has worked with, and the people he has worked with are people he worked with either during his time in the Senate, the many, many years in the Senate, or during his 8 years as the Vice President of the United States and Vice President to President Obama. So this would be expected. There would be no other place for him to draw on resources and expertise because he's on to a difficult task. And so he needs people who have been tried and tested and people who he knows, whose confidence he has. And I think that's what you will see happening with the rest of the cabinet that he will be appointing, but also with his advisors. So these will be people who he has worked with for a long time, close to him, who he knows well, and who also know him quite well.
Ambassador, stay with us. We're going to be coming back to you. But let me now bring in former presidential candidate Japhet Kalui. Japhet, you are a presidential candidate, and obviously you would have wished to attend that inauguration. But I know you watch also first.